7,
8,
9. Gizzo!
Happy Thursday, everyone.
Oh, hello.
Well, I just want to set this off. I'm going to set the record straight. I don't care what anybody says. Broccoli and mac and cheese is the way to go. I prefer, enjoy, and encourage you guys to put some broccoli or cauliflower in your mac and cheese. And I am won over by my white side, and I don't care. I also wanted to let you guys know that I'm officially very old. And the highlight of my week was strolling in Homegoods with headphones on, listening to my Discover on Spotify. It was I just had moments of relishing it. I just said, there's no other place I'd rather be. There's nothing else I'd rather be doing than strolling Homegoods, listening to hip hop and R&B. So those are my updates. And
Oh my God.
I don't need any feedback from them. So thank you for listening.
Well, my update, similar to last week, how I was shocked that Black people are doing drugs. I'm shocked that Black people are. You've mentioned this.
I told you that. They're getting their lips done.
Black people are getting more than their lips done. So I know that Black people get. Black and brown people get plastic surgery. People. But they are getting face work done.
Girl.
And I was like, for real?
Yes.
I didn't know that. And regular Black people that I know.
Influencers that we know, just showing you how to get your lips injected and your cheeks done.
Something in your cheeks and your under eye, everything.
We just get a lot of money. Would we not do it? Would you be like, let me just see what this looks like?
I don't think I would. I don't think I'm so, okay. So Sunny Hostin on The View.
What I do?
I was shocked that she admitted, and I should have known that because looking at her face, I'm like, duh. But what I didn't know was that Sunny was a G cup. She never looked like that on The View. And she admitted that she wore a regular bra, a sports bra, and she had stuff to strap her down because she was so self-conscious about how large her breasts were. And she didn't want, I guess she wasn't comfortable. I'm not going to say why. I'm not going to assume why. But she was not comfortable in her body. Well, I'm not assuming. She said she didn't want it to be a distraction. She always felt like it sexualized her. Yeah. Okay. She was I think a double D, and then she had kids and they got bigger. So she got a breast reduction. And I'm like, in my mind, I don't consider a breast reduction plastic surgery because I'm who I am. And I have large breasts that I've considered having a breast reduction around. But I'm also like, okay, well, I don't think that most women don't do that because they're trying to enhance anything. Most women do that, in my mind, because one, their back hurts, their spine is not aligned, their bras are so expensive, and they can't find clothes to fit. And yes, you feel over-sexualized in everything that you wear. And so in my mind, I'm like, oh, plastic surgery is more around, you do this for desirability or attention. And that's my own stuff, right? But then she talked about how she went in there and then the surgeon was like, oh, you should get a little lipo on your neck and on your chin, get that taken down. You should do a little this, do a little that. And I was like, and then all the women started talking about all the work that they've had done on the panel. And I thought to myself, wow, it is all like everything feels like a lie. I buy this face cream, I do all this shit, and it's Botox and injections and derma, whatever the hell that they put in their faces to make them look like that.
Yes. So
now I have worry, which is ridiculous. I have worry around how I'm going to age because I'm really actually going to look like myself. And I don't know. It just blew my mind. I didn't know that that folks were getting face work.
Girl, like young,
real face work and young, like younger than me.
Yes. Yes.
And getting your lips done to me is like, okay. But I mean, like, okay, that's not really around age. That's around you want bigger lips. but getting like age work done in like your 20s.
Yeah.
Is blowing my mind.
Yeah,
You would get work done to
crazy.
your face.
I would definitely get. We've already talked about this. I don't have anything. I would get Botox in my forehead. Absolutely.
But is that? I mean, like changing your face, like Botox in your forehead. Okay, that's still your face.
I don't know. I don't. If, as a younger woman in my 40s, maybe not. But as a 50-year-old woman, I don't know. Who's to say?
So you might get like.
My grandmother got work done. My mom's mom got work done.
Really? What does she get?
She got a chin.
Neck lift.
I mean, if you can afford it, because it's all vanity anyway. You saying I wouldn't get my work done is another form of vanity in itself, of being like I'm fine with myself. Those other girls are insecure or they're trying to change themselves. It's all vanity. It's all ego.
Is that vanity? I see that as like a form of resistance. Of like, no, I'm going to actively try to love myself as I am, even though, yikes.
Maybe, but I don't know that. I don't know. I think that maybe there's something in all of us that are like, there's a judgment in the people that do choose to do that, which doesn't feel neutral at all. It feels like an ego thing as well. But the decision to do it or not to do it is that person's decision. I'm not there yet to say.
So
I wouldn't get like a BBL. I don't think I'm going to go that far. I wouldn't get my breasts done. I wouldn't.
See, that's what I'm saying. I thought Black women were getting body work done, not stuff to their face. Because I really believe, like, is it true? Like, does Black crack and we just don't know? Like,
oh no,
I don't know. Like, do we know?
I have seen very old Black women and that shit don't crack. No, that's why it's even more outrageous, because Black women are the standard of beauty, and then but then they're looking like soft face, like you said, like you already have full lips.
Wait, explain that. Saw the movie. You know the clown in the movie, y'all? That's what these, it's not the lips, it's the cheeks.
It's this like, artificial, unnatural, stiff, uniform look that's happening. Like if you're getting your shit done and nobody can tell, good work by you. But if you walking around doing it to get this, like Cardi B's face, like she intentionally wants this heart-shaped, thin, sharp chin, high cheekbones, big cheekbones, Asian-looking eyes. It's like, all right, go off, but you look uncomfortable. It looks uncomfortable to like. But here we are judging. Shout out to y'all. Do whatever.
I'm not trying to judge. I was just really shocked, and I'm really shocked at how many regular folks I know are getting it, because it is expensive. It is so expensive.
It's less expensive. It's more accessible, I think, to a lot of people, because it's not as expensive as it was. I was just
how much it costs?
I don't know, but it's like regular, like like a dermatologist treatment. It's like included in your treatment, spa treatment. If you have a specialized tech that does it, I think it's going to become more and more accessible to people.
Wow.
It's going to become, normal. Body augmentation. It's just what you do. It's your choice.
Interesting. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes on my 40th birthday if I'm there. I don't think I trust people enough. I don't think I trust a surgeon enough to fuck with my face.
Cutting on my face is different than like a little injection.
Yes.
Cutting on my face, probably not. No.
Or even an injection. Like, you could have me out here looking. Did you see how upset I was over my haircut? Imagine if you inject some shit in my face and I really don't like how that is. And then I don't know. I just don't trust. It's my face. I don't know. I want to hear from folks. If you've had stuff done, what has your experience been? How expensive is it? Can you keep it up? Because apparently you have to keep this stuff up. Because I know somebody who doesn't keep it up. And then when she gets it done, you could tell. You're like, whoa, your face changed overnight. But shout out to y'all. I guess I don't know if Black really doesn't crack. And you cancel me for that. But I was looking at Naomi Campbell and I was like, is that her face?
Oh, no, girl. No. No, sweet being. Absolutely
like Iman?
No.
Angela?
No.
Angela Bassett?
No.
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 It's not makeup.
No. Angela Bassett has definitely gotten work done.
On her face?
Yes. Beyonce's got, all of them
I
have
could
work
tell
done.
Beyonce. I could tell the light skin ones more. Sorry, y'all. It shows. But, wow.
Angela Bassett, absolutely. She still look good as hell. And she looked good as hell to like go off. Like,
yeah,
why not?
It's blowing my mind because I have these unrealistic expectations of how I should
naturally?
look when I age. Yes.
Let your body take its natural course of
I'm thinking
disintegration and flaccidity.
I think I'm thinking that these other things are possible, that these are possibilities. You know, I
that
see
you can
these women,
naturally
I'm like,
keep the
yeah,
tone?
if I take care of myself, if I use the right lotions, if I this, I really believe that. And I'm shocked. My friend Black posted something. This is a PSA for everyone. There's an issue with Instagram right now. And Instagram is accidentally showing the unedited picture for a split, like 2 seconds before it shows the edited picture. So if you're editing pictures on these other apps that are not Instagram, somehow it's showing the unedited version first. It's reading the data wrong. And so he screen recorded a couple of people that he was seeing it. And when I tell you their entire face, like completely different. And so this is just a PSA. If you're editing up these photos and you're slimming that chin and raising them cheeks, they were lightening their skin, they do all kinds of shit. And he just kept sending them to me. It was like, when you tear yourself up in these pictures that we take, you need to understand that none of this is real and you really believe it is. And it's a problem. Like, you've been got. And I really have. Like, I scroll on Instagram and think this shit is real.
No. Nothing is real.
I'm shocked. Even the smoothness of these bodies. I'm like, yeah, I got to work out because I got to get smooth. Like, you ain't going to get smooth. You might get smaller, but you still going to have dimples and shit, girl. Did you know that?
Antoinette, now you're making me upset. Wait till you learn about politics and that ain't real.
All right, we'll move on. But I'm telling you, I have so much unlearning and work to do. That's why I've been staying off of.
Wait till we all learn that none of this shit is real.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I really have a lot. I've been staying off of it. And like you said, unfollowing accounts that don't make me feel
good. Work by you. Yes.
So a lot of travel accounts are getting unfollowed because they don't even post the places anymore. They just post a bad bitch in the pool. Smooth. Smooth as
with
all the big girls smooth. All the plus size models. That's why I like Ashley Graham, because she posts the unedited photos. And I just thought, like, oh, she has dimply skin. Stupid, yo. Anyway, moving right along.
Be nice to yourself.
What?
So be nice to yourself. Don't say stupid.
I don't have no problem with dimply skin. All right. This is we're gonna get into our voicemails. I should set that up a little better. We have some voicemails from before the break, believe it or not. We were not able to get to all of them last week, but I thought these two were really interesting. So I think that we should play both. Play one, take a breath, play the other one, because these two people have varying opinions on the same topic. And I love that. I thought it was interesting. So if you are interested in giving us a call, please call us at 215-948-2780. That's 215-948-2780. All right. Here we go. Can you put this time down? It's not connected to this for some reason. Why doesn't it work? And I just charged it right before this. Come on. Sorry. Come on. Okay, here we go. All right. Ready, set, new time, go.
If Jonathan Page is tearing us apart, and I wanted to comment and possibly offer a little bit of perspective on the part about the NPR interview with Michelle Obama. Oddly, earlier today, I was listening to Michelle Obama when she did the Revolt interview. I didn't watch the NPR one, but if you have a moment, I think, Shanti, it's a better, what you're describing that she said, and I think you have a bunch of amazing points, but I don't think she was coming from that perspective. And in the Revolt interview, she brings up how marriage is not ever 50-50, and that went well. In the Revolt one, it's Angie Martinez, Kelly Rowland, Miss Tina, her, Winnie Harlow. And so, because her book is about being open and vulnerable and things like that, I don't think she was coming from that space in which you described and bring up. And I think maybe her perspective on that interview may have you not being devil's advocate, not to say that your points aren't accurate or anything like that. But I think I just didn't see it that way, and I literally had listened to that whole thing this morning. I was like, oh wow, they're talking about this, and oddly, what Antoinette is speaking to is what I think Michelle Obama was getting at more. And as a younger person, I do believe the points that you bring up. Like, I've been in a relationship before, and I've asked older people, like, why do you stay around? And they're just kind of like, you kind of just got to hang on. I'm like, girl, I'm not doing that. I think Michelle Obama speaks a lot about when you're in your younger years, taking the time out to know and understand yourself before you hop into these different relationships with people. And I think she's more so speaking for somebody that's dedicated themselves to marriage. It just didn't come off that way in this interview to me. And then also, are you communicating those things to her? And they're bringing that a lot. And I kind of think she alludes to, what are you, do you have the voice in you to speak up and state your boundaries and know exactly what you want? Those are all things that you have to teach yourself in before you get into relationships with someone else. And I certainly stand my ground on, I'm not sticking around for nothing. So I hear you on that. I just think that other interview was, she didn't sound like that. I don't know if it's because it's a panel of black women or something. I know NPR kind of is different, but she just didn't sound like that to me. And I know, Shanti, to me, it sounds like you always come from a more not so capitalistic point of.
She got cut off. 1 second.
I got cut off, and I was talking about that that I had to call back and finish. But I was saying how I don't think Shanti comes from you don't be for the capitalistic society and all that. I think another reminder to throw in there is that Michelle Obama, she's in politics, and I love Michelle Obama or whatever, but she's kind of in that frame. And you'll also see, and I think she talks about this in some of her other books too, but in this book they talk about, like, Michelle Obama comes from a two-parent household where she really honors her father and her mother. And I think, I just don't think she has the type of background for you to be at less, to really champion that whole less stigma. I think her privilege comes in a different space. I know we all black, but I just think it comes from a different space. Just listening to the way she talks, she probably definitely ain't talking about what you're talking about. We might be, but she probably ain't know that at all. So that's probably not where she's coming from. But that definitely don't take away from all of the things that y'all were pointing out. I just thought it was crazy that I watched the interview and I was bringing it up. But it's very, very good. I don't know if the NPR one is this good, but I really, really enjoyed all of the talks that she had about it. So maybe if you watch that one, it's an hour and 40 minutes. It's real long, but it was very good. And it's got like young and old people on it. Just look at that. But y'all have a good one. I love listening to y'all. Bye.
Okay. So that's the first perspective. And then we have the second.
Hi, Antoinette. Hi, Shanti. It's my first time calling. But this episode number 226. Oh, my name is Nikita from Brooklyn. Sorry. Needed to say that too. But this episode number 226 really got me in tears because I am currently married, and I am going to file a divorce. And I just listened to the Michelle Obama I just want out, and it really bothered me because I'm tired as a Black woman that we always have to suppress and thug it out until things get better. I never thought that I would be in this situation in my marriage, but here I am, and I'm not happy. And in order to choose happiness, sometimes you do have to walk away no matter how much you love somebody. And now we're like going back to this whole thing, like, yes, you know, you have to endure, and things are bad. And if they're bad, they're going to get better one day. But when you have those hard conversations that said so much and about having hard conversations, after you have those hard conversations, then you give a person an opportunity to change and they don't want to change. After the embarrassment easy, because that's where I was for a long time, it's time to move on. As hard and as tricky as it is for me, that's what I plan to do. And as much as I am scared in this, I am encouraging other people to seek your happiness, no matter if it's with yourself or with somebody, because I thought I had a partner for the long run, but I lost myself, and I allowed, and I avoided, and I rejected a lot of things that I thought. But I don't want to make this long because I always like to make it long, and I love you guys, and keep on doing what you're doing. I love these conversations, and I love y'all. Bye.
Just beautiful range. I think, yeah, I think often for people that we admire for relationships, the post that we uphold often is this longevity, is things work out, is compromise, is sacrifice, is I got your back, you got mine.
Mm-hmm.
And not to say that in any way is not something to aspire towards, but I guess it is having more models of Black couples that don't make it or don't even make it. See, all the language and everything around it is around failure. And again, I do connect it to capitalists. Like, we can't separate these notions of failure, success, reward, whatever, in our intimate relationships. But yeah, I don't know if we have enough examples and enough actual collective space and like consideration for what is possible on the other side of more short-term relationship. If Lori Harvey decides to continue to do this till she's 96, what she's doing now, how are we going to look at her? How do we mark that as success or not? She's like, no, I'm never, doing this marriage thing or this working out relationship in a particular way. But anyway, it's just the range of both listeners, I think, is dope. And two things can exist at one time. And also, I think we're learning. There's a lot that I think we're learning from each side. I know I definitely thought a lot about that conversation after we had it. So,
yeah, I think in Michelle Obama's case, it's very specific because it worked out for her, seemingly.
Seemingly.
I mean, it seems as though it had worked out, and that's not always going to be the case. And what does working out look like? I guess it worked out in the way that she wanted for herself.
Or what is the definition of worked out? Like success.
I mean, for her. Well, yeah, I think that they seem to me successful because they seem happy and they seem like they honor each other. And, it's not necessarily because they're still together. It just, that helps. But it's beautiful to see folks navigate things and come out on the other side. I'm sure navigating the presidency was hard as hell. And definitely probably even harder, if not the same amount of difficulty, would be running for president. I can't imagine what that does to a relationship. So, it seems like they are both still madly in love with one another and
Hopefully
helping one another. Yeah. So I think
that for them.
Maybe that's why her example is an interesting one. And to the caller who's getting a divorce, like, I just feel like if you don't feel that and it doesn't feel right for you, girl, you're doing the right thing.
Yeah, or the celebration of her coming closer to herself and being madly loving with herself, and them hopefully amicably breaking up or getting closer to themselves feels is a success as well.
Yeah,
so.
Hopefully they were both in service to one another. So tricky. Anyway, let's take a break. Come back and talk about my white king, Dr. Andrew Huberman. You gonna say?
After these messages, we'll be right back.
I was gonna write it. All right, ready? And we are back. So I've name dropped him a couple times now, and I don't know if I'm saying his name right, and it gives me anxiety. Dr. Andrew Huberman. Yes, Huberman. One of those. I discovered him on a night of scrolling. And don't be mad, but I saw him on the Joe Rogan show. Saw a clip. And I was like, what's this? What he talking about? This very did you oh yeah, you've seen him. Yeah, this kind of attractive white man. He looks like he probably cooks his food maybe outside. Might have killed an animal or two. Yeah, knows how to build a fire. Yeah. Knows how to skin a rabbit. But very poised, polished, great. What is the word? I can't even say it because it's so my mind is so posture. There was an energy to him. I want to know about him. And so I listened to a bunch of his videos and fell in love. And not in like a love way where I want to be with him, but like love way where I am grateful for him. And I was talking, I think it was last week, Monday, about my new morning routine. As I go. Oh, it's a good segue because my morning routine is helping me with my, how you say it? Such and such rhythm. No.
Circadian rhythm. I almost said, what's the word? Cicada.
No, I almost said sciatica. Say it again. My circadian rhythm. Okay. So basically, Dr. Huberman has a bunch of videos where he talks about this. And I was like, you know what? It's worth a try because I'm sick of feeling sluggish. And I have to say that my friend Black, y'all heard Black on the podcast, has been telling me this for at least a year and a half. He's been saying, listen, you are battling sometimes depression and sadness and loneliness and frustration and all the things. And something that will help you, and you're also not sleeping well, something that will help you is for you to get sunlight in your eyes as soon as you wake up. Go outside and take a walk. And I'm like, do you know what time I go to sleep? Don't nobody have time for that. And I didn't listen to him. And then this white man told me to do it, and I was like, I heard you. Shame. So I will be honest, I've only gone for a walk maybe once or twice since the new year because ain't no sunlight out there. And he says that if there's no sunlight, if it's like the season where there's not a bunch of light, you need to do it for 30 minutes. I don't have time for that. So what I've been doing is I get up, I immediately open my blinds, pull them all the way up in all 3 windows of my room, and I let the sunlight in. And I sit by the window that's facing the sun the most. And so he says that the single best thing that you can do for your mood, your metabolism, energy, and sleep is to do this and to take at least 10 minutes, ideally not by a window, but take at least 10 minutes to let the sunlight in your eyes. No sunglasses, no nothing. Like, let it in your eyes. Don't stare directly in the sun like Trump.
Clarify. Thank you.
Let it hit your skin. Let yourself feel it. And it sets into motion a huge neurobiological and hormonal cascade that are good for you. So sunlight, we know sunlight gives you vitamin D, and they're used interchangeably. And our bodies rely on the sun to provide us with like this vitamin D. And so vitamin D is also been compared to oxygen. It's vital for life. And it's estimated, I am one of these people, that as much as 40% of the American population is vitamin D deficient.
How you know you're vitamin D deficient?
My doctor told me. Every time I go to the doctor, they tell me you need to take vitamin D supplements.
Girl, that is important.
I know. Which I've been doing. But your immune system also relies on vitamin D. And the sunlight helps you perform critical functions. It helps with even your digestive system, which I think that I've mentioned once or twice on here that mine is a mess. And so while studying disorders like obesity, diabetes, a team of researchers accidentally discovered that this SC-WAT, I don't know how to say it, subcutaneous white
adipose tissue, the layer under your fat cells. Let's go.
I know that's right, layer. Queen. She did go to nursing school.
Let's go.
They tend to shrink when exposed to the sun's natural blue light that it radiates. And so it causes our cells to actually store less fat. And additionally, the sun helps speed up your metabolism by releasing nitric oxide and a whole bunch of other shit, y'all. I can't read all this shit. This is ridiculous.
The sun is good for you or whatever. Okay?
But
find out why on your own time.
The main thing is it's serotonin. Serotonin is a precursor.
Girl, I said, what politician what does serotonin have to do with this?
I took the tiniest piece of edible and I'm losing it. Stick with me, kids. I'm going to get it together. But serotonin is a precursor to melatonin. So this hormone helps regulate sleep and your wake cycles. So once the sun starts to go down at a certain time, my body immediately is like, it's time for bed. And I've noticed that it works. And when the sun's hitting me in my face, it's like, okay, it's time to wake up. It also offsets cortisol, which is the main stress hormone. So that's something that I've been doing. I wake up, I do that. And while I'm sitting there, I'm drinking water immediately. I'm cleansing my system, hydrating my system. And the biggest thing is that I'm staying away from caffeine. Yes, even green tea, because I don't drink coffee for at least the first 90 minutes of me being awake. So caffeine is an adenosine antagonist, which adenosine makes you feel sleepy. Okay. So caffeine blocks this, but when it wears off, your energy drops like a caffeine crash, because what happens is the adenosine, if you drink coffee immediately in the morning, it's not fully out of your system. You're not fully awake yet. So the caffeine, it binds to this adenosine and it's trying to combat the adenosine, but it's not always successful. And so it causes that crash. If you allow your body to naturally get rid of the adenosine in your system, then when you have that caffeine intake, it'll keep you up and you will be more productive and you will even feel better and it'll have longer lasting results. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. It's very interesting. So then no email, no phone, no social media.
I love that.
None of that. You get up and you get your brain working. You read, you work out, you do something that's challenging to get your mind going. So what I've been doing is Heather Robinson's workouts. She needs to start paying us. And then I don't eat. I do not eat for at least I don't really eat until 12 or 1 because I'm doing intermittent fasting. But when I take a shower, I end my shower with a cold shower. And that sounds like hell to a lot of people. And it sounded like hell to me. And I actually have a friend who told me that he was doing this.
Also really good for curly hair. If you're getting
really good. Really good for curly hair. But this results in high levels of dopamine and endorphins. So dopamine is responsible for allowing you to feel pleasure, satisfaction, and motivation. And when you feel good that you've achieved something, it's because you have a surge of dopamine in your brain. And they jolt your system, and the endorphins, they jolt your system to increase alertness, clarity, and energy levels. It's also sometimes referred to as like the happiness hormone, and basically helps with overall well-being and optimism. That is what a cold shower will do. In the beginning, I would take my like lukewarm shower, and then I would just end real quick with a cold rinse and hop out. Now I'm noticing that my ability to like maintain my tolerance is getting a little higher. And so I'm like, okay, this is cool. And I'm noticing, and it could just be because Dr. Huberman told me, but I am noticing that I am starting my day with a much better attitude. I do have more energy now that I'm doing this regimen.
So just to go over the regimen for all the folks, it's get sunlight in your eyes or on your body.
Immediately.
Drink water
immediately.
No emails or social media or any kind of tech for the first 1.5 hours that you're awake. Mm-hmm. Don't drink
That's 90 minutes.
Until 9.
Uh-huh.
Shower.
No, don't eat food till 9. It's don't eat food for the first 90 minutes of you.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Also, I forgot that in your largest meal is lunch while the sun is at its peak.
Okay. Do something challenging within the first time of exerting yourself in some way.
Reading a book, stretching, working out.
And then ending your shower with a jolt of cold temperature.
He says to try it for at least 5 minutes to stay in it. I know.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm telling you, I thought it was insane. But
Girl, what in a Russian spa?
If you can do lukewarm for 5 minutes and then slowly turn that hot water down, it does make quite a difference. I swear, it really does. Mm-hmm. So I've been using these techniques to try to, you know me, be more productive, but not productive in the terms of producing something for other people, but just more productive in terms of my time, how I utilize it, and just overall feeling better. Because I noticed in 2022, I was high functioning, but I don't know how productive I was. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So I got a lot of shit done, but it was at my expense quite often. And then I noticed at the beginning of 2023, I was lacking all motivation to show up fully in any way. I was like sluggish. I was down. I just was not feeling the new year. And what I realized was I was lacking the motivation to continue as I was.
Mm-hmm. You burnt out. It wasn't,
it was like something has to give. You don't want to spend the next year doing what you were doing, and you have to figure this the hell out. So then it brought me to another video of his that was like, never lack motivation again. This was very interesting. So basically, and I don't want to go through all this, but we work hard, and this registered to me. Most people work hard for the sake of the reward, and that can backfire. Mm. And I work hard for the sake of, I don't know, whether it's a podcast, more listeners, growing, more number, more money, more notoriety, at work, a raise, the completion of a project, whatever it is. And so there was an experiment done at Stafford University where children who loved to draw, they just intrinsically loved to draw, and they drew for enjoyment all the time. The researchers took those children and they started to give them rewards that children would enjoy, gold sticker, star, whatever it was. And then they stopped, and the children would draw to get these gold stickers. And then they stopped giving the children these rewards And that what they found was that the children who enjoyed drawing on their own, they enjoyed art, they no longer had the motivation to draw. And what they found was it was because they took the reward away and they associated enjoyment with drawing less to drawing and more to the reward itself. And so he goes on to explain why this is the case. And so we're reaching peak dopamine levels from receiving the reward. Our brain somehow switches up and associates the dopamine with the reward. And so the baseline for how much we need in order to experience pleasure is heightened. And so the regular schmegular everyday act of drawing is no longer pleasurable for us. And then cognitively, we no longer enjoy the activity because we're not getting the dopamine we once did during the activity. And so secondly, dopamine controls our experience with time, which blew my mind on this one. So if you're doing an activity, let's say exercise, and you're only thinking about the reward at the end. Okay, after I finish this exercise, I'm going to have a piece of dark chocolate. Or after I finish this exercise, I'm going to go out with my friends or whatever the case is. The amount of time perceived, like being passed, it slows down substantially. Mm-hmm. So when they say time flies when you're having fun, it's a real thing because your dopamine levels are so high that you're just experiencing pleasure and you're not counting down the time of when it's over to receive that reward. Does that make sense?
Completely. Yeah.
So I say all that long-winded ass discussion here, but I say all that because I started to think about, oh my God, what do I do? How do I do this? How does this show up in my life? And you have this thing with me is when we'll go over numbers, like we sat here, Shanti, for 6 hours in the beginning of the new year and did an Around the Way Curls meeting. And we reviewed the goals for 2022. And on the goals for 2022, we wanted to see if we met those goals. We met about 90% of those goals. And I was focused on the 10% we didn't meet because we didn't get the reward of those things. And I was not focused on the enjoyment that I had recording this with you, recording with Mandy and Bridget, watching it grow, seeing the numbers go up. The enjoyment I would get to see our numbers double are now like, okay, we got to get here. There's a new reward. There's a new goal. I think about that with exercise. I used to really enjoy working out. I used to really enjoy sweating and listening to my music and talking to folks at the gym. And I don't work out as social anymore. But now I want a reward. I want to see the change in my goddamn body.
Perceived reward in the future because you never actually experience,
well,
in some cases, the reward because it's always...
Ooh, what a segue that is. That is called growth mindset. And growth mindset is the idea that you are always striving. You are always getting better. And that striving itself is the end goal. You're never finished. So you don't focus on the reward. You focus on the now, on the strive. Mm-hmm. Think about sex. Mm-hmm. Focused on the orgasm. Mm-hmm. Focused on the this. And no longer experiencing the present. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I want to ask you.
So wait a minute. That's the opposite. The growth mindset is that you are focused on the present, or the growth mindset is you are focused on the future reward.
The growth mindset is that you are focused on the strive,
there
the
is
work
no
itself.
Reward. Yeah, there is no future reward.
And that's how, ladies and gentlemen, you stay motivated. That's how he's saying you'll never lack motivation again. Because you're always in this space where you're like, oh, you know how people are like, oh, what do they say? I'm a student of life forever. It's that basically like I've never reached my peak. Mm-hmm. I'm always being expansive. Mm-hmm. I'm always growing. I'm always discovering. And the way that I enjoy that I reach my peak dopamine levels is that I'm fully, in my opinion, you would have to be fully present in the now and in the enjoyment of the now.
I love that. I love the idea of being fully present in the moment, and I think it again contradicts our obsession with the present being enjoyable and pleasurable versus being in the moment and accepting that some moments you have to be are painful. Some moments hurt. The working out hurts, but that doesn't mean that you can't be completely present in it.
But it still releases dopamine.
It still releases dopamine. Yeah, I think often we try to escape that, or we try to put a negative perception on, like, that hurts, I want to, because it's also like a biological thing to avoid pain as well. Like, we don't want to feel pain and we'll try to avoid it. And we have to battle against that as well. But I love it. I think it's very connected to being here, being now, being in the moment, and not set on this carrot that's dangling in front of you, and appreciative of what's happening and proud of yourself. Like, you can also be in the moment of doing something and thinking, I fucking hate this. This is awful. Like, I think it's also another mindset to be focused on the good, or focused on the, listen, if we want to get really involved, it's neither good nor bad. You're just in the moment. You're just experiencing the thing, and you're not judging any of it. This isn't for my future. This isn't to heal the past. I'm just being here now, doing this downward dog until the next moment I'm not. And neither is good nor bad, which is
hard.
It's hard to do, because we're so addicted to, like, judging something, most importantly, judging ourselves, at least in my
we're also
experience.
conditioned for that. Like, when you are the reward are your grades, or when you're in school, or the reward is that you're student of the month, and then when you get to work, it's like, oh, maybe you get a bonus for your work, or there's always rewards everywhere. And I don't mean to say that rewards are bad. They're not. But cognitively, we have to be more conscious of the rewards stealing the joy from the doing.
Yeah.
And that is, I don't know if I haven't wrapped my mind around that just yet. His offering is that you continue to do really hard things. So when I mentioned The Climb earlier this week, I was watching The Climb, the show on HBO where these people are literally rock climbing, and they're in so much pain. Oh my God, their bodies are trembling, Shanti. They might cut themselves on the rock. They might be exhausted. They might be terrified. But my God, even when they fall, the amount of dopamine, the endorphins release, how they feel so good. Sometimes they feel bad because they didn't get, it's still a competition, and they didn't get to where they wanted to be. But for the most part,
if they're present in the moment, then they're feeling good. But if they're focused on the reward, then it could be an awful experience, one of the worst experiences of their life.
There's a woman who went home on the first episode. I don't want to spoil it, who it was. I already spoiled it. It was a woman. But she was so fucking proud of herself. Yeah. It was so inspiring. Yeah. She was not one of these people that was like, oh, beating herself up and I gotta win, I gotta do. She was just so chill and freed up and present. And it was a beautiful thing to see.
I'm going to try and connect this back to both callers that we listened to before as well, in that I think Michelle Obama in a lot of ways is like, you don't necessarily have to focus on the long game of what your idea of what a successful or healthy marriage is, and that it's equal, and that I do this, he does this, versus being present in the moment with that person and kind of managing what you're both dealing with, being present in your relationship and its needs, as well as I also see the other side of another person that's, and doing that continually, right? And then at the very end, 50 years later, you're like, yo, we done been through some shit. And all I was focused on was showing up and being present in our relationship. But in hindsight, like, we done climbed a mountain together, trembling, we done fell, we're bloody, we did all this thing. So you have this thing to look back on and be proud of. But hopefully in the throes of your marriage and dealing all the things, you're not just like focused on this idea of what a successful husband, wife is, because those roles obviously just get blown up from what Michelle said. But also being present in a marriage and not being focused on what the future is and what a so-called successful, rewarding marriage is may also, recognizing that this is wildly uncomfortable and hard. And and this does not feel good. I'm present in this, and me being present in this and not focused on what this idyllic situation is, I don't want to do it. So I feel like I feel like that can be applicable to both those situations as well, like relational in a lot of ways, and being present.
A lot of words. You hear yourself? Yeah. You getting it done. I hear you.
Listen.
You reading?
Relational? Present.
I don't know if is that right?
Relational.
I got nervous. It is, right? Okay.
I believe so. Yeah.
I hope you sound good. I'm listening to you like, I don't give a shit.
Relational.
Listen, I think I said it is. We present.
Relational algebra. It's okay when it comes to math. Relational databases. Let's go. I don't know if I use it correctly in that context, but
we knew what you meant.
Got it.
But good. I think it was right. You sound good. So wait, you have some notes here. YouTube comments.
I really love the two people commented on the YouTube of this video, and one person said it's really interesting, the two different ways of being present in something, doing something hard and being in the moment. One person wrote, interestingly, a long time ago, I'm now 70, I started talking to myself while doing a task. This could be an athletic event or something related to my profession, ship driver and naval officer. While performing the task, I would say in a very complimentary way to myself, nice job, Terry, or I'm proud of you. That reward in time was the motivation that kept me going when others would fail or fall behind. I'm 70, I'm able to compete with myself, and whatever the outcome, I feel rewarded. Important to like yourself and let your brain and spirit know that. On the contrast, someone wrote, to whom it may concern, on the part of finding dopamine from effort itself, I find it useful to think, if I don't do this to the best of my ability, I will know this. I will know that ultimately I quit, so I will torture myself later for it. I think it works for me also when I know I must stand up for someone for some reason and I don't want to.
I think I'm number 2.
You're number 2.
You're number 1.
Number 2. I don't know if I'm number 1. I don't do that. I don't say good job by you, Shanti, while I'm in the middle of doing something. Absolutely not. I think I actually may think I'm more of the latter.
Really?
Like negative talk while doing something. Maybe it's not, isn't like, I know that ultimately I quit, so I will torture myself. But it's like a negative judgment. Oh my God, I didn't
read that as negative talk.
So I will torture myself later for it? That sounds like I would not.
Torture myself is not good. But I think what I do relate to is if I don't do this, I'll know it. I'll know it. If I don't do it to the best of my ability, you can't unknow it. You know it. It's in your body. You feel it. So do I want to feel like that? No. It's more like, it's more that. I don't know, torture yourself later for it. Maybe that's what they were trying to say, but interesting.
Well, I have some affirmations, not all of which are applicable to this, but we're going to do the best that we can.
Okay.
I think what is most powerful is just being present in the thing and working towards not putting a judgment to it whatsoever. So here's some affirmations for you for us all to learn to be more present and quiet-minded while doing hard work. Pain is pleasure and pressure bust pipes. And it seems like I'm the kind of like it rough type. My life's work is not to master the performance, but learn how to be the ever-present, compassionate audience. I can do hard things and allow myself ease as I build a real foundation of self-esteem. I can do hard things and soften into real self-love because duality is a thing. Ashe, namaste, a baby.
You
With that,
clinically insane. That was so good, but you're nuts. I didn't read it, and then when I heard the first line, I was like, of course, this girl is crazy. You are unwell. But I thank you for that. We haven't had a roundaway affirmation in a minute, y'all. And she came through with the come through. Wow. All right. Well, hopefully y'all feel motivated or whatever. Like, and if you don't,
they're like, wait, what y'all say? What?
They was like, Antoinette was messing up that first. What'd she say?
She said serotonin.
Saratoga spring sparkling water is what you drink. And then the dopamine.
So just bring politics into this. Who the fuck is the representative Saratoga of where? Who is she?
Leave me alone.
No, it was good. It was good. I think we repeat it one more time. Get sunlight in your eyes. What else, Antoinette? Oh my God.
Get sunlight in your eyes. Listen, that
her circadian rhythm is kicking in.
Listen, that's right. My sciatic rhythm is in. It said, go to bed, girl. Get sunlight in your eyes. Drink water right away.
Immediately. No
social media for the first 90 minutes of the day. No technology, really. Just maybe some music, fine, but none of the socials. Don't eat right away. No caffeine right away. That 90-minute rule, baby. When you shower, finish with a cold shower. And then also do something hard within the first 90 minutes of waking up. It could just be waking up.
Have sex. Like, preferably work your body out and get your back blown out. Tell that nigga next to you, come on, we on a new morning routine.
Let me tell you something. Everybody would be able to tell sex. Everybody would be able to tell when I had sex in the morning. They'd be like, you're in such a good mood. I would mind your business. But they all knew. And I would just be skipping. D,
girl. Oh.
I'll never forget being on a call and someone pinging me and saying, oh my God, you sound so happy. I love this for you. And not having any idea why, but being so wildly embarrassed because it was true. I had sex or whatever, and it had been nice. Shout out to you, know who you are. All right, y'all.
Thank you for listening, and we will see you next week on Round the Way Girl.
God willing. Amen. These things are hurting my head.
They hurt so bad.
Why do they hurt? Are our heads big?
What'd you say? Because I couldn't hear you.
Are our heads big? Did I butcher that?
What?
Can you hear me?
Did you butcher what? Are our heads big?
No, the stuff.
No.
The talking points. Metabolic regulator.
You probably didn't have to go into all that. You could have just went into the end with a cold shower, but it was good. The people that appreciate science are going to be like, go off, girl.
The people that appreciate science are going to be like, she said that
She
wrong.
said serotonin.
Oh, man. When Dr. Huberman says it, it's so concise. Good
it's
job by
edited,
you,
Antoinette.
Antoinette. You
It's
did the
all lie.
best
That
you
nigga
could.
got fucking work done too. His lips ain't real. His hair ain't real.
No,
He's not
handsome.
a doctor. He's this nigga
Yo.
is a doctorate of literature. He got his fucking PhD in
Oh my God.
play
I don't think he
hating.
is a doctor. I think
Oh.
he's a handsome white man. Look at him.
I love to hear your white man crushes.
Oh, look at him when he was when he was a little younger. He is cute. It's him with a beard. He just looked like a hungry man, Jack. Look
Like
at
he
him
makes
lifting
his
up
own
his
jerky,
big ass.
right?
Yeah, he definitely drying his jerky. Mhm. Anyway, he got a good podcast, but those episodes be like 4 hours long. I can't. I'm like, sir, this ain't releasing my dopamine.
I guess the white guys really be like they're the best podcast listeners, huh? They be on like Joe Rogan goes in for hours.
Oh, Joe Rogan is being listened to by more than white folks. They love Joe Rogan, all of the folks. I know he was getting in trouble, but hot take.
But I fuck with him.
I don't know if I fuck with him, but I don't. Some of his stuff he does is not. I'm not mad at it. All right, I gotta go move my car. I'm about to cry. What's the music for this?
There a shower song? Let me dig you down in the shower. Morning.
Is there a morning sex song?
Morning sex. Vitamin D.
I'm sure somebody.
What's
came
the
out with
name of this? The first one is Maybe I'll.
I put the name. We can change it, but I wrote Our Rewards Ruining Us. Rewards. You hate that? Not catchy enough.
That's good.
Paul Castilli, whoever that is, has a morning sex song.
How does it go?
I don't know. He's white and
I love that for him. I really want to hear it.
hold on. Can you hear this?
Yes. Yes.
Come on, bro. Sing. Oh, that's it. That's it. That's Bay. Say less. Okay. All right. I will.
Does this need any notes or can it just go in there? It doesn't need any notes aside from the songs, no?
Yeah. Ralph Castilli, Morning Sex. I'll buy it and put it in the thing.
You can't hear it. You don't steal them from YouTube no more?
I don't know. My thing isn't working. I'm ripping from YouTube.
What's the name of it? Robert?
Ralph. I said Robert.
I love that for
Ralph.
him.
Look at this. Somebody on See the Thing Is say, you don't look like George Washington. You do look like Frederick Douglass a little bit.
Oh my God. No, you don't.
Look.
I can't see. Hold on.
They said you still don't have this up right. All right, for real. I'm not done. I am gonna be done my work, but I didn't finish my work.
All right, well.
I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it's not done, and I'm not about to do it. You know how to rip that?
Yeah, I can put it in the drive.
All right, I gotta reach out to him about the next ad too. I hope that ad gets to where it needs to be by the end of the week. I keep staring at it like maybe I should have programmed it as a sponsorship because that would go first. I mean, we're learning. I programmed it as high priority and not full sponsorship,
Well, I didn't even
which would
see
beat
that
out
there was a
every
full
other ad. Huh?
I never knew there was a full sponsorship thing.
Yeah, and
It was just
Spreaker.
low priority thing.
Nope. If you click it, the sponsorship will be the highest, and then there's high, medium, low. We'll see. I think it'll get to where it needs to be, but maybe I should have did something different. All right. Have a good day at school tomorrow. I'll holler at you. I gotta go move this car. Okay.
Yep.